has women's liberation, if we're thinking about Independence Day, has women liberation in Africa, including in Senegal, in Sierra Leone, has it always been postponed? Is it always been postponed?
Yes. So I think it's twofold. So it's very tough being a woman in general. And then in Africa and Sierra Leone, it's not unique, right? So I think on an institutional and societal scale, yes, it's always been, we're always put in the back seat, when our existence drives the whole continent, right? So I'd say that there are current liberation movements started by African women and Sierra Leonean women, like amongst ourselves. If anything, we're the ones caring for each other, providing some sort of education, safe spaces, and that's what's moving progress forward. But doing that work on the ground needs support, because a lot of the time, because we are women, we're often met with opposition when we're doing that work. So it has to be more. It has to be on a governmental scale. It has to be institutional. So like specifically to Sierra Leone, like how many state of emergencies for like rape and sexual assault are you going to declare before you actually determine that this is a real problem that needs actionable steps? How many occurrences of gender-based violence, how many, small children have to testify that they've been assaulted by grown men, before you're actually like, okay, what is at the core of this? And I think what we have to ask is like, why are we as Sierra Leonean women or African women not seen as important enough to fight for? So it's like, it's really going to take a shift in mindset, which I think will take time, but we keep putting these pretty Band-Aids on it, like having these like events like, yeah, we're doing stuff, but very much in my mind, the problem that we have with gender equality needs to be like snatched from the root, because as they say, it's the only way to get rid of the rot. What's the root of the misogyny? Are they leftover colonial ideas? Is this just how we are? What's leading us down these paths? I had a very harrowing, traumatic experience with my sister's disappearance like 2 years ago in Sierra Leone. And dealing with the government and embassies and the police, it's just so clear that women are just like not top of mind in these overall discussions of liberation and taking care and just in our place in society. So absolutely, I think women's liberation in Sierra Leone, not on, definitely in the governmental level and, just how we set up our institutional structures, they're absolutely postponed. I don't think you can deny it.
Ismail?
Yeah, I agree with everything that Oluwaseun said, and also, I think in Sierra Leone and everywhere around the world, I think Black women have always been not given the proper gratitude, sort of the space to express their power. If you look at any liberation movement anywhere in the world, the driving forces behind it are always Black women, anywhere. Give me a current day situation that's going on. Black Lives Matter. Who are the people behind it? Black women are always the ones, exactly. Black women are always the ones who are pushing and carrying societies forward. If you think of any good president, any good leader anywhere in the world, they're successful because they have a very intelligent Black woman behind them who does not come forward because they're egoless and they allow things to go. And the reason why this is important for people to know is that when we don't tell these stories, then we have people growing up not really seeing the value and the importance and the reason why we're where we are is because we don't support our Black women as strongly as possible. We don't give them the space to contribute, really. We do it performatively in a way. Mm-hmm. If we look at our history, for example, we're talking about Baibure and the resistance movement you had against the British. We had a woman called Nyaro. She was the military mind behind all of the organization. If you read history, you will never find her. It's like as if it doesn't exist. So the young girl growing up would aspire to marriage, not knowing that she's actually a force that drives society. You understand? So I think all of these things need to be done. And we're, as an African, Black African man, we have to do more to actually show the importance of our women, that without them, we will not be where we are. Without them, we will not even be discussing the idea of freedom. But that's not on any national agenda at all. So I think we need to change that narrative. And in Sierra Leone, it is sad. I do some work with the United Nations, with UNICEF in particular, and I've been on the ground several times to listen to harrowing stories about young girls at a very young age that don't feel safe in their own country just by the very fact of being a girl, you know? Even their teachers sometimes become their assaulters, you know? So we have a society that's very toxic like that. You know, and I have two Black Sierra Leonean and many other things. They are from different places, girls, and I don't want them to grow up in an environment where they have to fear just because of their gender. I want them to grow up in an environment where they have to thrive because they're intelligent, because they're human beings. That's it, not because of their gender. So you have these issues that are there, and it starts very little. We don't address it at a very small level. It starts with these little expressions that people have, you know. For example, people come and say, "Oh, look at this little girl. Oh, this one is going to be my young wife."
Yep.
And people laugh. Somebody says that to my daughter, you're going to have a big problem with me, because this is where it starts. You condone that, and then the person takes the next step further. You see what I mean? So we are not vigorous as Black African men in protecting our women and in speaking for them. And I think we need to do that. The burden is not on them, it's on us, we the men, all three of us here. Right.